Hi everyone and welcome to our midday reflection today. Well, I'm sure you all know this saying, don't judge a book by its cover. But in this case, I want to urge you to not judge a midday reflection by the image that you see in front of you. Although you can see my face today and hear my voice, it's actually Benjamin Clements, our student minister, who is delivering you this midday reflection. Ben was busy doing other things and so was unable to record his reflection for you. So even though you see my face, I have Ben's reflection here and it's Ben's words that I will be reading. And we're really thankful to Ben for bringing us this reflection today. Ben writes, apart from the Psalms, the book of Isaiah is quoted the most in the New Testament. And it got me thinking about how knowing a little bit about the context of an Old Testament passage can enrich our understanding when the New Testament uses it. I want to give you a quick example of this for your Wednesday. In less than 2 weeks' time, the church traditionally celebrates Palm Sunday, remembering when Jesus rode into Jerusalem as king. I want to read Matthew's account of what happens immediately after Jesus enters the city. When Jesus entered Jerusalem, the whole city was stirred and asked, "Who is this?" The crowds answered, "This is Jesus, the prophet from Nazareth in Galilee." Jesus entered the temple courts and drove out all who were buying and selling there. He overturned the tables of the money changers and the benches of those selling doves. "It is written," he said to them, "My house will be called a house of prayer, but you are making it a den of robbers." In verse 13, Jesus says, "My house will be called a house of prayer." And what he said is a quote from the book of Isaiah, chapter 56, verse 7. If you look this up in your Bible, hopefully you'll see a footnote which says that. Now, why is this significant? Did Jesus pull this verse out of thin air, or is there something more to it? Well, let's have a quick look at the original context to see how that verse is used in Isaiah. In Isaiah chapter 56, verses 6 to 8, we read, "And foreigners who bind themselves to the Lord to minister to him, to love the name of the Lord and to be his servants, all who keep the Sabbath without desecrating it and who hold fast to my covenant. These I will bring to my holy mountain and give them joy in my house of prayer. Their burnt offerings and sacrifices will be accepted on my altar. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations. The sovereign Lord declares, he who gathers the exiles of Israel, I will gather still others to them, besides those already gathered." So the original context is basically saying that it's God's grand vision that people of all nations who want to meet and serve God must be welcomed to his temple to worship him. This is a far greater vision than God being God of the Jewish nation only. God welcomes the foreigner from all around the earth at his house. And the temple in Jesus' time was designed for this to happen. The temple had many layers to it, like an onion. The most holy place, the holy place, Levites' men court, women's courts, Gentile court. This Gentile court was the outer court, and people who weren't Jews were welcome to draw near to God here and pray. But then, when Jesus enters the temple, he sees that the religious people of his day have turned the Gentile court into a profitable marketplace, filled with animals and money changers, probably a whole bunch of haggling and yelling, what you'd expect in your local market. Think about what Isaiah says. "Foreigners who love the name of the Lord, I will bring to my holy mountain and give them joy in my house of prayer. For my house will be called a house of prayer for all nations." But now the Gentile court, the one sacred place that God had welcomed foreigners to pray to him, has been turned into a place of swindling. No wonder that Jesus is angry and reacts by dismantling the marketplace. There's a challenge here for us to consider if there are things we do or don't do that may unintentionally hinder others in our community from approaching God to pray? I'll leave that for you to ponder. But my main encouragement to you is to take notice of the times a passage in the New Testament quotes something from the Old. If you have time, look it up and read the paragraphs surrounding it. There's a whole wealth of deeper meaning contained there, which will enrich our experience of the Bible and our relationship with God. God bless, and see you Sunday. And we thank Ben for those words in his reflection.